me up. And also, uh, because I will probably share it. And Michael, I'm assuming you didn't want to say anything. Great. Okay. So I'm going to start laying down and I'm going to do a breath called the theta breath. It's a soft, gentle hissing sound, and it'll slow down the nervous system if extending the exhale. If it feels tense at all in any way, just let it go. Don't do it. Just breathe naturally. Um, but let's just start with theta coming in for a landing in our own bodies. Oh, I've got a pea pod here sharing my floor space. We'll see how long that lasts. Um, they always find a way to be sort of central. So coming down into the planet or seated or however you want to be, but letting yourself come in for a landing, letting your bone weight get very heavy. And we'll work with the theta breath. So working with the breath and the air element. And it's just a soft, gentle hissing sound that lasts as long as it lasts. We're not trying to make it last forever. And if you have questions at all, just unmute and ask me. Even if it seems like I'm in the thing, it's fine. I just want to offer this idea that we're coming together in service of ourselves and our cells and the planet and the air and our communities. And when we can be softer and gentler in our own nervous system, we can show up more fully for ourselves and our cells and the planet and our communities. And if anything doesn't feel like the right thing to do, don't do it. But just coming into this idea of offering space for your deep wisdom, your own inner guidance, and spirit to really participate in your embodied experience. And holding yourself and your cells with compassion and kindness. No force, no forcing anything on yourself, just allowing and inviting and offering. And anything that comes up or moves through you or with you is allowed. But if you find your own judge or perfectionist getting on board here, let them just go sit in the chair off in the corner. They can stay present, but they don't need to take center stage. And if your mind is really charging around and wandering, running off scenarios, offer that to the air around you. Offer all that thinking to the element of air. And if you have emotion coming up, which even just saying the word emotion is bringing it up for me, just allow your heart to express. It doesn't have to, and often in these dives, it doesn't get emotional, but if it needs to come through, let that through, and that can be received by the fluid in your body of water. Just let it happen in whatever way it needs to happen. We can share the grief space. And at the same time, I don't need you to feel responsible for me. So it's okay. I'm okay. Allowing the fluid in your body, the cerebrospinal fluid, the blood, the lymphatic fluid, the extracellular matrix, all the squishy gelatin stuff, allowing it any kind of micro movement, any kind of readjustment in your body that is helpful to your body. And it's also moving in a big way, right? There are these natural flows going through us no matter what. As long as we're alive, there's flow, there's fluid flow in our body. So maybe just taking a moment of gratitude for that. I can also feel my nervous system really kind of zingy. So there's that electrical current of information moving through my body from my heart, from my nervous system. And I'm just going to imagine that as the fire, the and allow yourself to offer anything to the fire that you need to burn off, that you need to release, or even that you need to heat up and cook. Maybe you just need to cook some things in your body for a little while. Let them heat up in that fire of your spirit, the fire of your being. Taking off the big backpack of shoulda, coulda, woulda, or your own expectations for your behavior, or even your expectations for other people's behavior. Just taking off that cultural backpack and letting that be aside for this little while we can participate in our own animal body, our own organic experience of being. And tuning into your bones, tuning into your knowing that is in your bones, even your ancestral lineage, in your bones, in your DNA, and the earthy nature of your bones, and even the healing nature of your bones, right? Your lymphatic fluid, lymphatic, and your immune system is deeply interwoven with your bones. So, tuning into those bones and letting the earth itself compost any of the extra heaviness that you're ready to let go of, but also letting your bone weight drop into the planet, letting yourself receive the planet and offering your weight to the gravitational forces that are going to hold it anyway. You don't have to do anything. You belong here. Gravity says you belong. And it's very easy to feel gravity if we move a little bit. The fluids in our bodies understand gravity, our nervous system understands gravity. our bones can relate to that gravity. And so throughout this whole exploration, move as little or as big as you need to. And you may end up wandering into totally different territory than what I'm talking about. That's fine. Let yourself go wherever it is that you need to go. But having kind of given us that little bit of preparation and sound, I'm going to take us into our spinal cord, into from our brain, rooting down through the inside of our vertebrae and routing out through our arms and through our legs, through our sacrum, routing out into our arms and up in our upper body, out, or sorry, our arms and legs through the different parts of our body. And our nervous system is traveling along generally, often with our vascular system. So the blood flowing in the veins and arteries, and often the lymphatics are all traveling together, routed out through our fascia. But coming into the central channel, energetically central channel, but into the central cord of our brain through our spinal cord. And letting ourselves tune into the sensation of having this deep, awakened experience of being just by having a nervous system, right? And that's all traveling through your spinal cord. So, offering a little bit of micro movement or undulation to that head tail connection. It could just be breath, but if it feels interesting, let yourself wiggle a little bit, feeling the relationships between your cranium, your rib cage, and your pelvis along the way, these other big bony structures. Cranium cradling the brain, spine, vertebrae, cradling, holding the spinal cord, and the organs inside of our rib cage and pelvis. So just coming into the spinal cord as much as possible so that we find that sort of central axis, our up and down axis, and even kind of our forward backward axis, and our side side axis, finding that midline and just offering it some juiciness, some micro movement, ripples, waves, little undulations. Within our body, our nervous system is supported by fluids. So, in a way, we could feel our nervous system just floating gently inside of our body, supported and bolstered. There's the cerebral spinal fluid around our brain, which is also bringing nourishment and taking away waste, filtering through our body several times a day. And as we gently move, even just with the breath, we're offering that cerebral spinal fluid the opportunity to travel easily along that pathway, spacious pathway inside of our vertebrae, our spinal cord, and around our spinal cord. If we took away all the bones, if we just were just the nerves, I just saw that Gil Headley nerve tour, which was amazing. But we would be very much like, I mean, this is kind of a strange way of putting it, but like seaweed shaped in the shape of a human nervous system, but like soft, wet, kind of elastic. So tune into that sense. If it feels good to stop moving sometimes, take a break and feel into whatever you're feeling. but feeling into that sense of that deep part of your body. It's sort of the deepest part, but it radiates out to the surface, and information returns back through that hole. Like we can feel our fingertips and our toes, and that is information going out and returning back to our brain. And imagining that the whole system is supported in this fluid, the whole system supported in the fluids of your body. I'm going to give us music for that just for a little while. Oh, Paula's here. I was deep in the. Hey, Paula. I was deep in the mists of the nervous system. So here's some music just to let our nervous systems have a dance.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oops, I think it just went off. Hold on. Oh, hold on. I have to do it again. Okay. Sorry about that. I've been having weird issues lately. Hopefully you can hear it. Imagining that the music is moving into you and massaging you from the inside, which it is. So letting your body and your cells and your tissues receive that and come alive with that in whatever way feels nourishing. Imagining this nervous system, your nervous system, sustained and suspended inside of your body. Sustained, suspended, and supported. And allowing your movement or your not movement to just be 100% for you, not performative in any way for someone else, but just for you to experience. And so we're just going to imagine for a second that imagine that you're like a little star ball or a star bubble. And in your star bubble is your ball of energy, your kinesphere of energy. And just for this time that we're here together, you're going to imagine that if you have threads of yourself that you've sent off into other places, just for right now, you're going to call those threads back just to nourish you and this group and us within this process. But really, that you're not off trying to fix things for other people right at this moment, just that you can call all the threads of yourself back. And so it's going to be kind of like either in your imagination or in reality, in your body, in your movement, a core distal event. So it's like you can reach out your star body radiating out and then drawing it back in. I think I have to change cameras because this one is not handling it very well. Yeah, so allowing yourself to move as if you are a star radiating out into space and calling yourself back. And I am going to give us music for that too. This is Celestial Dolphin, which is kind of not really music, but sound to work with. So in this star body place, you can also play with this center to edge core distal radiating out and coming back in, calling yourself in. But you can also imagine that the space around you is holding you and is also very much alive and conscious. So not only is it holding you, it's also supporting you. And this could be happening just at a sort of breathing level or in a bigger movement level, whatever feels good to you in this moment. There's no forcing anything. We're just experiencing and allowing. And it might even be like there are these two sort of ways of being, like where we're opened out or where we're drawn in. It may be that you need to spend more time in one of those places, right? So if you need to enclose and wrap yourself in, you can do that. But if it feels good to reach out, to call in the threads of yourself and your cells, then play with that. Almost like a starfish or a jellyfish. Suspended in the water as we are suspended in space. Made of stardust. There's no right or wrong in this. Whatever exploration you're on is the one. weird way of saying it, but letting the potent space around you and within you nourish your own bubble of being. Let the potent space around you and inside of you nourish your bubble of being. And in this space, offering all the versions of you in your life, the past you, the present you, the future you, offering yourself and yourselves deep compassion, deep love, deep forgiveness. It seems funny to say forgiveness, but I feel like we all need to forgive a lot. So I like put that in there. Deep compassion for past you and future you and you now. And imagining that that potent space around you, in your bubble and around you, is both creative and loving. And offering yourself the opportunity to receive that creativity and that life force and that deep, deep, deep lovingness, loving bubble. is offering some gratitude to everything that happened leading up to here for you in your life. All the things that brought you into this moment. Doesn't I'm thinking like the things that sometimes we think of. I'm talking about the patterns that we've taken on in our lives to cope with being, the way that we have learned to survive, everything that you did to bring yourself to this moment. Offering yourself some gratitude. Sometimes we can be very critical of ourselves and how we behaved or what we did or what we should have done. So, gratitude for all the little holding patterns, all the little parts of you that were so imperfect, but they helped you arrive here in this moment in time. Some kindness for the parts that, that you might not like about yourself, or the things that you struggle with. Just giving yourself a chance to explore any of the things with this new music, coming from a place of not knowing, if possible, coming from a place of openness, beginner mind, where it's as if you're stepping into this moment as if it's fresh. It's not packed with all the stories of the past or anything, but just for now, feeling into this moment as if it's brand new. Offering your body a chance to tune into some free flow, some just free movement. Doesn't have to be perfect in any way, just the aliveness, free flow of air, airflow, fluid flow, electrical current, whatever flow feels interesting to play with. Let yourself babble with that flow, like a babbling brook or a babbling baby, offering yourself a chance to motor babble as if you don't know anything and you're just learning, letting your body babble. No need to know, no need to grab onto anything, just feeling into. you're holding yourself in any sort of ways that you can notice, see if you can just soften that, almost like it's melting. And then maybe it reforms again in some other way. It could be so micro, the micro melts, but just offering that, or it could be huge, it could be a big melt. Yeah, I'm melting the freeze. And there's nothing to achieve here. There's no big goal. Just being with being. Being in the flow of just being, moving, dynamic life force happening. Without any reaching, grasping, or need for something outside of what's happening here right now. In the breath, there's a natural resilience that happens. Body is so wise. So this piece, I'm just going to offer this idea. It very much reminds me of just little touches, like little snowflakes or little bubbles of light. So just opening to the idea that we don't know. We don't know what's happening. We don't know what's going to happen, where we're going, any of it. But tuning into this kind of cosmic bubbling. Cosmic spaciousness. Letting yourself play with that in any way that feels interesting. Somewhere within it all, within each of us, there's wonder. I wonder. And letting our systems find that natural resilience that's in there with our breath support, with the ground beneath our feet, the space all around us, and the movement that is beyond words. Partnering with the space around you, partnering with the floor, partnering with your clothing, partnering with gravity. The sun comes up, the moon is there, the trees, the plants, the water, the creatures. Giving your nervous system the information that right now, inside of your body, it's safe. Right now, in your fluid system, it's supported, it's nourished. And taking a couple of minutes in the silence of your own experience just to process some of the processing for a couple of minutes, either in stillness or with movement, whatever feels good to you.